Blood is a tissue because it contains a number of different kinds of cells and other formed elements, like erythrocytes or red blood cells, leukocytes or white blood cells, and platelets, which are not true cells but are rather fragments of another kind of cell. Specifically, blood is a connective tissue because it also includes a noncellular extracellular matrix. In the case of blood, that extracellular matrix is the plasma component of blood. While plasma doesn't seem all that exciting at first, many of the important jobs that we think of for blood are actually done by the plasma component of blood. Plasma is mostly made out of water, but dissolved in that water, dissolved in the plasma, are a number of other factors that are circulating through the body, like electrolytes. This is where we're circulating sodium and potassium and calcium to do other jobs in the body. The plasma is also where we circulate a number of important kinds of proteins, like albumin, which helps provide osmotic pressure and control where water goes into and out of our tissues. We're also circulating different kinds of antibodies to help in our immune response, and fibrinogen to help in a clotting response when our blood vessels tear. In addition to these proteins, we're also carrying some nitrogenous substances like uric acid, that is a byproduct of cellular respiration, and some nutrients like glucose and amino acids and lipids and fatty acids that are going to provide the building materials and energy materials for the cells of the body. Most of our respiratory gases, like small amounts of oxygen and large amounts of carbon dioxide, are also traveling through the plasma component of our blood, as well as most hormones. Our steroid and our amino acid-based hormones that we talked about for the endocrine system are being delivered by the plasma component of the blood. The erythrocytes, or red blood cells, have the main job of transporting oxygen through the body. And they also transport about 20% of the carbon dioxide that we need to eventually breathe out as well. Erythrocytes have a unique structure compared to most cells in the body. They are biconcave, meaning they dent in from the top and the bottom to increase their surface area to help with the movement of oxygen into and out of these cells. In addition to being biconcave, erythrocytes are also unique because they are anucleate cells. They don't have a nucleus. They don't have most of the organelles that many cells in the body do have. They're really bags filled with a type of protein called hemoglobin. Hemoglobin contains iron particles as part of its three-dimensional structure. This is the thing that actually binds to oxygen and carries it through the blood. Our leukocytes, or white blood cells, serve a totally different function for our blood. They help in the defense against pathogens, those things that can make us sick, including bacteria, fungi, parasites, and all sorts of different types of viruses. Even though leukocytes are doing a very important job in protecting us against pathogens, they generally only make up 1% or less of our total blood volume, whereas erythrocytes tend to make up 44 to 54% of our total blood volume. Platelets are the last formed element of our blood. They are not true cells themselves, but rather fragments of another kind of cell called a megakaryocyte. As that megakaryocyte fragments and sends these pieces through the bloodstream, these pieces form an essential part in the clotting process in helping to repair ruptured blood vessels and stop blood loss.